Vehicle number GT 8153-17. Please move your vehicle. The activity in charge is in the person of Lieutenant Gershon Adase. He is marching forward to ask permission to commence activities for the physical training gymnastic display. They will do the groundwork, and under the groundwork we would have the dive and roll, prone line, shoot through, and then back spring. That is the groundwork. May I advise the general public that children do not practice this at home. Children do not practice this at home. The next activity will be working in pairs. Forward roll, forehead spring. Forward roll, forehead spring. Handspring dive and roll. The fly handspring. They will move to the next stage of activity, which is the individual tricks. Individual tricks. That is series of head spring. Series of head spring. Somersault handspring. Arabic 10. Let's give him a round of applause. The back somersault in series.
As we witness the gymnastics, we would also want to acknowledge the support of the Ekunfi Fruits and Juices Limited, producers of Eku Juice or Ekunfi Juice, Nestle Ghana Limited, Fan Milk Ghana Limited, as well as Zoom Lion for supporting this anniversary.
We will now move to the next stage of work, which is the horse work. We have the Broadway and the lengthway. Activities to be conducted will be the through vault and then the astride vault. The only female within the PTIs, the only female. That is the neck roll, long arm drop. Neck roll, long arm drop. The only female, Benedicta Motti, AC1 Benedicta Motti. The next line of activity will be the dive and roll and hollow back lift.
And for supporting this anniversary over the years, we would want to express our appreciation also to Unilever Ghana Limited, Coca-Cola Company, as well as the Agricultural Development Bank, or the ADB.
The next activity to be conducted by the Physical Training School PTIs will be the dive and roll and then somersault through the loop. The Physical Training School instructors are under the command of Captain Sulemana Safianu, and his 2IC is Lieutenant Abudu Salifu. The Sergeant Major of the Physical Training School is Senior Warrant Officer Class 2 Kofi Isha. The safety supervisors are Warrant Officer Class 2 Jeffrey Amponsa. We have LS Ashabi Erasmus and Warrant Officer Class 2 Courage Adato, who now witness the dive and roll and then somersault through the loop. The only female too much. Shall we please give them a round of applause? That was the last activity, and they are done with the activities for the day. PTS. And Lieutenant Gershon Adase has asked permission to march off the PTIs and give room for the next line of activity. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we would be witnessing the fast roping from helicopter by troops from the Ghana Armed Forces Special Force. It is made up of the Army Special Force Brigade, the Army Special Operations Brigade, the Navy Special Boat Squadron, which is the Special Force component of the Ghana Navy, as well as the Air Force Special Force Squadron. The fast roping is one of the methods used to insert troops into an area to conduct special operations. From time to time, these special force units are employed together depending on the type of mission at hand. So today, we shall see the combined fast roping of special force units that has been created in the Ghana Armed Forces. That is the Army Special Operations Brigade, the Navy Special Boat Squadron, and the Air Force Special Force Squadron. We would have 2 helicopters used for this year's activity. One is to provide security for the troops embarking on the operations. And the other helicopter will be the one carrying the Special Force team to conduct the operation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our humble request that you secure any object that could fly with the helicopter getting on the pitch. That is the security helicopter. It is providing security for the troops to conduct their activity. The captain for the helicopter, that is the Mi-17 helicopter, that dropped the Special Force team, is Squadron Leader Evans Opoku. His co-pilots are Squadron Leader Anthony Derry, the flight engineers on board are Warrant Officer Class 2 Mensa Richard, Flight Sergeant Boache Evans, and Corporal Yenchia Ambrose. That was the combined fast roping by the Army Special Operations Brigade and the Navy Special Boat Squadron. It was done in conjunction with the Air Force Special Force Squadron. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have troops march on parade. The helicopter providing security for the team conducting the special ops is captained by Squadron Leader Courage Fianco. His co-pilot are Squadron Leader Christiana Amponsa and Flight Lieutenant Peter Honyenuga. The flight engineers are Flight Sergeant Mensa Kingsford and Flight Sergeant Kakare Albert. The forward air controllers that planned and well-coordinated movement of all aircrafts on this parade are Flight Lieutenant Leslie Kofi Yali, Flight Lieutenant Abdul Nasser Salia, Corporal Agozu Mandela, and Corporal Duya Prince. They planned and coordinated the movement of all aircraft during this year's anniversary parade. contingents are now marching on parade for us to have the equipment display by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana National Ambulance Service, and the Military Physical Training Mobile Vehicle Display. We shall now have the equipment displayed by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana National Ambulance Service, and the Military Physical Training display on the vehicle. Leading the equipment from the Army Special Operations Brigade is the quad bikes. The quad bikes. May I state that the quad bike team, the first bike is being ridden by a female soldier. And the commander of the quad bike team is also a female lieutenant. They should tell you that what a man can do, a woman can also do even better. The equipment display is from the Army Special Operations Brigade. Following the equipment from the Army Special Operations Brigade is the 1-5 Armored Brigade, with personnel drawn from the 153, 154, and 155 regiments. The first troop is made up of the Cobra Electro-Optic System Armored Personnel Carriers. The troop has adopted the Diamond Formation, and it is under the command of Captain Delali Foley. The is the Ratel Infantry Fighting Vehicle. Has adopted the staggered column formation, and it is under the command of Lieutenant Patricia Tireku Tayon. The one from the 66th Armored Brigade, made up of millimeters. Troopers are from Lieutenant Kojo Atiemu. The troop warrant officer is Warrant Officer Richard. The second troop is made up of the 105. Is the close column formation. The troop leader is Oku Mensa. Abochi Ulysses. Following the 105 millimeters howitzers is the 122 millimeters howitzers. And they have also adopted the close column formation. They are under the command of the battery commander in the person of Captain Senyo Kofi Jamafe. The battery sergeant major is Warrant Officer Class 1 Zakaria Isifu. Following the equipment from the 66th Artillery Regiment is the Zodiac boat. The lead boat is Yogagaba and is carrying the Ghana Navy divers. The divers unit was established to undertake search and rescue, diving, underwater, ship inspection and repairs, life-saving, explosive ordnance disposal in conjunction with a special boat squadron. It flies the flag Alpha, a flag hoisted to signal that the vessel has divers underwater, and other vessels should keep well clear of at slow speed. It is under the leadership of Chief Petty Officer Class 2 Beckley Livingston. The 2IC is Chief Petty Officer Class 2 W Godfrey. Following Yogagaba is Achimotaba, one of the Zodiac boats acquired for counter-terrorism operations on all navigable water bodies in the country. It is being operated by the Ghana Navy Special Boat Squadron, the Special Force units of the Ghana Navy, and it's also the only unit of the Ghana Armed Forces that operates in all terrains. We have the vehicles from the Ghana Police Service. The lead vehicle is commanded by ASP Bediako Dakwa, and they have adopted the formation, which is the diamond formation. The rear commander is in the person of ASP Mr. Robert Ofe. Following that of the Ghana Police Service is the equipment displayed by the Ghana National Fire Service. The lead vehicle is the water tender, the tender vehicle, and it is followed by the recovery. The multi-purpose vehicle. Next to the Ghana National Fire Service is the Ghana National Ambulance Service. And they are under the command of AEMT Samson Aka. The last on the equipment display is the physical training vehicle display. And the activities conducted are push-ups, sit-ups, vertical rope climbing, bench press, pull-ups, or chin-up. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall now witness the march past by the various contingents on parade. But before that, the band will troop.
Band! Troop!
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the tune being played by the band is a tune that is usually played during fishing periods in the coastal areas, and this is the tune Sisiri Boom. The formation adopted by the band is the canoe, which depicts the occupation by the people of Ogwa. The origin of band trooping dates back to the early days of man, who assembled his musicians and played them across his community as a result of victory at war. When armies began the system of regimentation at the beginning of the 17th century, the custom was inoculated into the ceremonial parade to serve as a dual purpose of allowing the bandsman relax his limbs after a long static performance, as well as provide spectacle to the parade. The sequence of band trooping, we have the call of the bandsmen, the slow march as witnessed, the compliments as we are witnessing now. They will do the quick march, the counter march, the evolution, and then the finale. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the band has just formed the Edinkra symbol, Boaminamemboao, which is literally translated as help me and let me help you, to symbolize cooperation and interdependence. The band has just formed the Edinkra symbol, Boaminamemboao. Shall we please raise our flags to sing happy birthday to Mother Ghana? "65 years of independence is not a small journey. It hasn't been an easy journey. 65 years of independence. Mother Ghana is 65 years, and we should all be proud as Ghanaians to be part of this year's celebration. Happy birthday, Mother Ghana. 65 years of independence. Shall we please give the band a round of applause? We shall now witness the march past in slow and in quick time by the contingents on parade. We will now witness the crossing over of horses by the parade second in command and the parade adjutant. The purpose of this movement is to allow the parade second in command to be at the rear of all contingents to move them during the march past, and for the parade adjutant to be with the parade commander as his aide de camp.
Show!
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 colors on parade for this year's anniversary parade. And we have the national color, the Army color, the Naval ensign, and the Air Force color. Carrying the national color, we have Captain Nana Kwabna Donfe. The color escorts are Warrant Officer Class 2, Kwe Ni Osabu Robert, and Staff Sergeant Ayim Frimpong Michael. Carrying the Army color is Captain Courage Jidefo Beji, and his escort is Sergeant Asamoah Peter Rambo. The Naval ensign is carried by Naval Lieutenant John Selom Kweti. His escorts are Chief Petty Officer Class 2 Hagan Marshall and Petty Officer Class 1 Paul Richard. Carrying the Air Force color is Flight Lieutenant Nana Che Brobe, and the escorts are Warrant Officer Class 2 Jito Alasa Richard and Sergeant Muru Osman. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the police have found 4 missing children, and they are behind the presidential days. A tent has been mounted, so if you know a student or a school child from your school is missing, please go to the police tent mounted behind the case and identify the children. 3 boys and 1 girl. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the troops have just formed. Ghana is 65. Ghana is 65. GH is 65. And if you are privileged to find yourself a little higher, you would appreciate the formation. Years of independence, and that is what the troops have just formed. GH is 65, Ghana is 65. Devastation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic the world over has left many nations struggling to recover. The theme, working together, bouncing back together, is a clarion call to all Ghanaians to come together and work towards attaining sustainable economic recovery as Mother Ghana marks her 65th independence anniversary. Take you through some of the rules performed by the various security services on parade this morning. The Ghana Army is made up of the Ghana Armed Forces is made up of the Ghana Army, the Ghana Navy, and the Ghana Air Force. They are responsible for the defense of Ghana by land, sea, and air. That was a change from slow march to quick march. The Ghana Army is responsible for defending the country by land by conducting offensive and defensive operations. Some operations conducted by the Ghana Army include Operation Gong Gong, Operation Halt, Operation Calm Life, Operation Cow Leg, Operation Motherland, Operation COVID Safety, among others. The Ghana Navy is responsible for the protection of the territorial waters of the country against seaborne invasion and securing the maritime space for national development. The Air Force is to provide air transport and offensive air support to the Ghana Armed Forces to protect the territorial airspace of Ghana. Approaching the days is the #1 male contingent of the Ghana Army, and it is under the command of Captain Ebenezer Dampari. The female contingent, the Army contingent for the female, is under the command of Captain Prisla Ama Tonyewo. The Navy male contingent is under the command of Naval Lieutenant Leonard Senam. The Navy female contingent, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I request that as the colors march past your location, you all will please rise and all in uniform would pay appropriate compliments. The Navy female contingent is under the command of Naval Lieutenant Florence Elom Eto. The Air Force male contingent is under the command of Flight Lieutenant Emmanuel Kelly. The female contingent for the Ghana Air Force is ably commanded by Flight Lieutenant Vivienne Fosu. The first male contingent for the Ghana Police Service is under the command of DSP Dr. Baba Francis Kofi. Following the male contingent for the Ghana Police Service is the female contingent for the Ghana Police Service, and it is under the command of DSP Leocadia Sunrise Adika Tamaklu. The second male contingent for the Ghana Police Service is commanded by DSP Kilian Dakura. And the second female contingent for the Ghana Police Service is under the command of DSP Theodora Ntiwa. The male contingent for the Ghana Prison Service is commanded by DSP Emmanuel Bule. The female contingent for the Ghana Prison Service is commanded by DSP Yvette Asiedu. The number 13 contingent is a contingent for the Ghana National Fire Service. The male contingent is commanded by ADO Grade 1 Sylvester Lee Okoti Ozo Mensa. The female contingent for the Ghana National Fire Service is commanded by ADO Grade 1 Lucy Flossie Sosu. The male contingent for the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority is commanded by Assistant Revenue Officer Eugene Minka Asensu. And the female contingent for the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority is commanded by Assistant Revenue Officer Nora Konedu Sapong. The male contingent for the Ghana Immigration Service is under the command of DSI Enoch Agyapong. And the female contingent for the Ghana Immigration Service is commanded by DSI Ivy Asumeni. For the Ghana National Ambulance Service, the male contingent is under the command of AEMT Alexander Chumesi. The female contingent for the Ghana National Ambulance Service is commanded by AEMT Al-Hassan Nadia. May I continue with some of the rules by the various security services on parade this morning. The Ghana Police Service is responsible for preventing and detecting crimes, to apprehend offenders, and to maintain public order and safety of persons and property. The Ghana Prison Service is responsible for the safe custody of prisoners as well as their welfare, reformation and rehabilitation. The Ghana National Fire Service is mandated to save lives and property through firefighting and the rescue of individuals trapped in other emergency situations. In line with this, the service provides technical advice for building plans in respect of machinery and structural layout to facilitate escape and evacuation from fire. The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority is responsible for the collection of duties and taxes which are used to finance the country's recurrent budget and developmental projects in the area of health, education, housing, transport sector, etc. They also prevent smuggling. The Ghana Immigration Service regulates the country's dealings with non-citizens. It also advises and ensures that effective implementation of all laws and regulations pertaining to immigration and related issues. The Ghana National Ambulance Service responds to road traffic accidents, industrial accidents, and disasters, inter-hospital referrals, and domestic emergencies. All security services play important roles in the development of our dear nation. We say well done, Ayiko, to them all for their sacrifices and contribution for peace and stability we enjoy in Ghana. Please, let's give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the troops are here to adopt another formation. That is the theme for this year's anniversary celebration. Working together, bouncing back together. If you should find yourself above, you would surely appreciate the formation adopted. Working together, bouncing back together. That is the formation adopted. We must commend the drill instructors who work tirelessly to put these troops in shape and to be able to come out with this formation. We appreciate the efforts of the Army Drill and Duty School, led by Senior Warrant Officer Amegachi Arnold. We also appreciate the efforts of Senior Warrant Officer Logan Patience, instructors from the Armed Forces Sergeant Major's Office, led by Warrant Officer Class 1 Dakwa Clement. We appreciate representatives from all the services, instructors from the Ghana National Fire Service, the Custom Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Immigration Service, the Police Service, the Prison Service, and the Ghana National Ambulance Service. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once the contingents advance in review order, I'll humbly request that we rise for the national salute. Shall we please rise for the national salute? The formation adopted by the Hellies approaching the days is the Ugwa formation. Ugwa 1 is captained by squadron leader Courage Fianco. His co-pilots are squadron leader Christiana Amponsa, Flight Lieutenant Onyega Peter, Flight Lieutenant Augustine Kanga, and the flight engineers on board are Flight Sergeant Mensa Kingsford, Flight Sergeant Kakare Albert. The Ugwa 2 formation is the MI-17, captained by squadron leader Evans Opoku, co-pilot squadron leader Anthony Derry, squadron leader Peter Che, and the flight engineers Flight Sergeant Evans Boache, Corporal Labi, and Corporal Kwanche Yao. Shall we please be seated? The parade commander will now ask permission from Mr. President to stand the parade artist for our special guest of honor's remarks and the anniversary speech by the President of the Republic of Ghana and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Mr. President, March past over, may I stand the parade artist for the special guest of honor's remarks and your anniversary address, Mr. President.
Permission has been granted the parade commander to stand the parade at ease for our special guest of honor's remarks and the anniversary speech by the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Stand and ice.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I respectfully invite our special guest of honor, the Prime Minister of Barbados, Her Excellency Mia Amo Motley, for her remarks. Shall we please welcome her with a round of applause?
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, and First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Vice President of the Republic and Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, honorable members of the Council of State, ministers, members of Parliament, members of government officials of Ghana, traditional rulers and religious leaders of Ghana, members of the diplomatic corps, and indeed my own Minister of Foreign Affairs and my own ambassador, distinguished Ghanaian citizens all. Today I am filled with such hope, and I am so happy to be here with you to celebrate the 65th independence of your country. On behalf of the people and government of Barbados, I extend congratulations, our warmest congratulations, to you on the attainment of this milestone. For us, you were the beacon that shone the light almost 1 decade before we came to that own moment ourselves. And that is why last year, when we became the youngest parliamentary republic, we asked your president to bless us with his remarks, because we felt that just as you led the way in 1957 and 1960, you led that way for us with the coming of our republic. It is almost trite to share with you that your founder leader, Kwame Nkrumah, inspired so many of us across the globe. After decades and in some instances centuries of colonialism and exploitation, the capacity to rise and to be able to say that we can, we shall, we will. That simple example gave so many of us the courage that we too could and would and should. As I indicated to you just last year on the 30th of November, we took that step. And on that occasion, we elected our first president, Dame Sandra Mason, who has asked me also to pass her warmest regards to you, Mr. President, on the occasion of this 65th anniversary. It is significant to us, sir, that when you spoke and shared your message with us as a Barbadian nation, you indicated that it was our great fortune to be able to complete this circle of self-determination at a time when the world has so readily embraced the principles of democracy and enfranchisement. And yes, my friends, and yes, the young people of Ghana in particular, I am mindful that for you, this may seem a journey that is long, long past from where it started 65 years ago. But be assured that that anchoring 65 years ago is what allows us now to stand tall and proud, even as we see the ugly face rearing itself again of racism and imperialism across our world. We must never, never, ever accept that there can be first-class or second-class citizens in this world. And we equally assert today that there cannot be first-class and second-class nations in the global community. It is for that reason that we will work together in solidarity to fight the battles of our time, challenging as they're appearing to be, quickly as they're coming at us. For whether it is the climate crisis that affects us, or whether it is the scourge of war that is raising its head yet again, or whether it is the assertion by some who have not been elected to take power from those who were duly elected, we have a duty to stand tall and to protect the principles of democracy and the principles that are anchored in our Constitution and the principles that we committed to in the United Nations Charter and the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. These may sound like a lot of big words to many of us, but the truth is, they are simple anchors that assure that each of us deserves the right to be heard, the right to be seen, and the right to be cared for. My friends, African-Caribbean solidarity received a new boost on the 7th of September last year when we came together for the first ever African CARICOM Summit. I want to let you know that it was your President's visit to Barbados in 2019, along with President Kenyatta, that allowed us, as I was getting ready to chair the Caribbean community, to agree that we should have that first summit. Alas, COVID visited us, and what was to be the first summit of June 2020 ultimately became the summit of the 7th of September 2021. My friends, out of that summit, we agreed to establish a permanent forum for African and Caribbean territories and states, and that forum would be jointly coordinated by the African Union and the CARICOM Secretariat. We agreed also to take steps that the 7th of September shall forever be known as Africa CARICOM Day. And we ask you, our brothers and sisters in Ghana, as we will in Barbados, to celebrate that day with the knowledge that those of us across the Atlantic can never be divided, not even by the forces of history or the passage of time. The establishment of this forum will allow for us to bring about synergies between the CARICOM single market and economy and the African Continental Free Trade Area. And it is significant that in both of these instances, our two countries lead the effort. In your case, for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and in the case of Barbados, for the CARICOM single market and economy. We've also agreed that we should collaborate and work much closer at the United Nations, because many of our objectives are the same and our mission is the same. We may have different routes by which we must get there, but if we have the same destination and if we have the same purpose, then we have a duty to collaborate and cooperate with each other. We've also agreed that that collaboration should be heard as we raise our voices against the inequity of vaccine distribution that has bedeviled our world as if there were truly first-class and second-class nations of the world. We reject that. We reject that. We ask ourselves to cooperate equally on the matters of the climate crisis, and we do so conscious that each of us is affected. You here with the same coastal erosion, whether in the Volta region or the Greater Accra region, or with the flooding that has regrettably taken lives here in your own country in 2019 and as recent as last year in August, affecting your ability to produce food, affecting your ability to buy food, because the costs continue to rise. And now that it is compounded by the realities of the pandemic and the realities of the war in Ukraine, we expect, regrettably, that there will be difficult times. that there will be increases in prices continuing. And I say to you, the people of Ghana, that in the same way that we have in Barbados, to explain to our people that the cost of living that now chokes so many of our people is regrettably not national, but global in nature. For we only need to look at the impact that will be happening soon as we get our next shipments of oil, as we get our next shipments of food, as we get our ability to negotiate whether we can in fact get the shipping arrangements to receive that which we want to buy. But we know that we come from a proud and resilient people, and not even the combination of the pandemic and the climate crisis and the consequences of aggression in Ukraine can cause us to bow and to lose focus. Yes, the times will be hard, but our ancestors have shown us that even in hard times, we can rise above this and hold firm to the view that we are a resilient and dominant people, capable of moving strong ahead. It is for that reason, Mr. President, that when we look at the global architecture and the lack of fairness in the structure of it, we too echo your own calls and that of others, that the African Union should be given a chance to become part of the global leadership if it is to be legitimate and if it is to be morally accepted by us all. The G20 cannot remain 20. The G20 must become the G21, for we know that in the African Union you constitute the 5th largest economy in the world with just under 3 trillion in production on an annual basis. And we know that the 1.3 billion people of this continent actually have the greatest demographic dividend to be reaped in the 21st century, with the largest percentage of young people on the planet Earth today to be found on the continent of Africa. If there is to be a future for these young people in Africa, then that future must be shaped not just by those who tell us what to do, but must also be shaped by those who experience what it is to provide for the 1.3 billion people on this continent. My friends, we stand in solidarity and in unity with you on these great issues. And I can do no better than to quote your own founder leader in his wise words as he addressed the OAU summit in May of 1963, when your president said, and I quote, "Do we have any other weapon against this design but our unity? Is not our unity essential to guard our own freedom as well as to win freedom for our oppressed brothers, the freedom fighters? Is it not unity alone that can weld us into an effective force capable of creating our own progress and making a valuable contribution to world peace? We must stand united now more than ever. And the calls to remove a member of the P5 this week only serve to remind us of the absolute injustice and inequity of the P5, the permanent 5 in the Security Council in the first place. And that is why we say there can be no first-class or second-class nations of the world. It came to a head, an absolute head, when the one that was given the power to veto literally this week ensured that that veto literally made the United Nations almost useless in its capacity to save the people of Ukraine as they faced down the weapons of Russia. We say today that it is not only there that there must be change. We ask the world to also recognize that the international financial institutions cannot accept that two countries, namely Greece and Ghana, can go to the market to borrow money, have the same credit rating, but Greece must be able to borrow, and regrettably, at a fraction of what Ghana must now pay for the cost of capital. That is and cannot be part of a fair and just world in the 21st century. And why must it change? Because in a very real sense, even though we settled the individual rights to protect each and every one of us, at the formation of the United Nations, we preserved an old colonial order of empires having the right to determine what the global community should look like. We now know that it does not work. And we now know that the time has come to work together to change it for the betterment of the nations of the world altogether, yes, but in particular for the betterment of the people of our nations who were suppressed and colonized, regrettably, for too long. My friends, I ask us also to recognize that in today's world, technology makes geography and size almost irrelevant. And therefore it gives us that unique opportunity, and certainly as we have done in the Caribbean and in my own country, to assert that the time has come to reclaim our Atlantic destiny, that the time has come for strong strategic leadership. And that is why we have come to look to you on so many things for partnership as you have looked with us. I stand here today on your Independence Day to thank the people of Ghana for being able to support us in our need for nurses, with the first 95 nurses having gone to Barbados in July of 2020. We thank you, the government of people of Ghana, for that most generous gesture. And we are heartened that they have made a huge difference to our public health care system. So much so that we have just completed interviews for just under another 200 nurses to come to Barbados in the near future. We thank you equally for allowing us to work together to see how we can bridge the gap of travel between our nations. It cannot be acceptable that we must all go north to come back south when we can easily go east or west. To go 7 hours and 50 minutes to London is much longer than if I would have come direct to Accra. It is within our grasp, Mr. President, to change these simple facts to connect our people. And all the more so because there are too many restrictions being placed on our people, even for the simple access of transit visas, even if we want to visit one another. We are independent, and we must now shape our future truly in the image of where we want our people to go, rather than being victims of the decisions of others over whom we have little control. I am happy that we were able equally to establish in the last year a mission, an embassy in this country to be able to promote trade, culture, and diplomacy. And the Barbados Embassy at Ghana in Accra is one of our first that have been established in the continent of Africa, along with our embassy at Nairobi. That it has taken 55 years for us to have a presence in Africa is a regrettable thing. That it has happened is something of which we can all be proud, for it lays the foundation for greater cooperation between our people in the small and the large things that matter. Mr. President and the people of Ghana, let me say that I want to share just a few 2 minutes with you about who we are as Barbadians and what we stand for. We are a people who are very proud, and we know, as I did and said when I addressed your parliament, that we were an Akan-speaking nation in the 17th century, that many of our people owe their inheritance to this great nation. And it is that spirit of resilience that you have shared with us that has come through the centuries in spite of the horrors of slavery. That for us, on 166 square miles, land means everything. And therefore not just the possession of land, but the ownership of land must matter. That in our country, and I say so conscious that here in the Cape Coast, education has been critical to you in this part of Ghana. Equally, education is a bedrock upon which our nation has grown and has become more stable and prosperous. I say to you that it is our mission to erase poverty from our landscape, because poverty is a cancer that takes away from our people the right to choose and the right to be. And I share with you two simple things that perhaps say it better than I could ever say. For when we became an independent nation, and the President of the United States of America, Lyndon Johnson, offered to pay our dues to join the Organization of American States, the then Prime Minister and father of independence, the Right Excellent Errol Barrow, said to him, "Mr. President, where I come from, if you cannot afford to pay the dues, you do not join the club." That is who we are as Barbadian people. And when he went to deliver the first message on behalf of our people at the United Nations, he indicated something that has remained our motto and our bedrock, and which serves us well today, even as we comment on the crisis in Ukraine, that we shall be friends of all and satellites of none. This is a spirit which was imbued of us, and we have no doubt that that spirit owes its heritage to right here where I speak today, in the continent of Africa, because that is what allowed us to keep our heads high in spite of all that we had to face. Today, as we go forward, we simply use the words, as I've had to do over the last 4 years in my country, as we ourselves face serious economic difficulties and challenges, as we face the climate crisis and the pandemic. And what were those simple words? Simple, simple, simple that our children understand. Many hands make light work. And just as we are prepared to share the burden of adjustment always, we must be prepared to share the bounty that can allow our people always to aspire and to feel that they live as owners in their own country and not tenants in the land. My friends, I ask us once, please, before we go and I close, to reflect on the fact that it was from this course, regrettably, that many people left. Yes, never to return at that time, but with a wish always in our bosom that their children and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren would come back to this land. We are conscious it is emotional. We are conscious that those who put your family in those castles, those horror houses, whether here or in Goree, did it because they simply did not see you, hear you, or care for you, and did it solely for the purpose of profit and solely for the purpose of power and dominion. It is regrettable that those same motives are showing themselves on the landscape of the world today. And if ever there is a people who can speak out against it with a moral authority, if ever there is the capacity for global moral strategic leadership, Mr. President, it must come from those of us who were affected on both sides of the Atlantic, those of you who lost brothers and sisters, and those of us whose great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents suffered the indignity of being treated less than human. We have come to this point today to say to these young people who sit opposite me that it must never happen again. And to ensure that it shall never happen again, we shall build monuments that you shall never forget. And it is therefore with pleasure that I share with you today that one of your own distinguished citizens, the David Ajay, has been the person responsible for designing the monument in Barbados, the country that has had, regrettably, a relationship with racism that is a blot on our history. The parliament which I lead, regrettably, was a parliament passed the slave code, came to sponsor slaves in the Americas. It is of independence that these young people shall never forget the scars of history. Tribute to 5 buried in the plantation in the parish of Christ. There, research center, truly understand who and who is exactly family. Largest transatlantic records in history created by the United Kingdom. That he has designed shall have 570 timber stands. And we ask you, Mr. President, as we shall ask many of the other countries from where we have come and where we have gone to supply us with some of your presence always shall be remembered by the people of Barbados whenever they visit that Barbados Heritage District at Newton Plantation. I end simply on this last point. The discussion of reparations can never be an easy discussion. It is complex. It is difficult. The heads of government of the Caribbean community have assigned me the responsibility of writing the heads of government of those European states whose governments were responsible for the extraction of wealth from our countries for centuries, and who extracted wealth, I dare say, from your continent and your countries too. There are those who will say and remind us that the specter of war makes it an inconvenient time to have this conversation. But may I say that it is never the wrong time to do the right thing, and I therefore hope that we shall have the support of Africa in these difficult and complex conversations that regrettably have led to the extraction of wealth for centuries from our nations in the Americas. Thank you, my brother. My friends, we come to you today conscious that we have returned. We have returned. And it is the ultimate victory to wage against those who said that there shall be no return, that I stand here as a daughter of the Americas, a daughter of Africa, to congratulate you on what has been a magnificent display this morning by your armed forces, by your civilian persons, by the school children of this country. And may I say, as I saw the stiltmen and the masqueraders, Mr. President, just as you felt when you inspected our troops in Barbados that you were in Accra, I feel today that I am in Bridgetown at Cropover when I saw the masqueraders and I saw the stiltmen move through this stadium. It is a reminder always that we are truly family. So let us not look north, let us look west, and let us look east, and let us be determined always to remove the middleman, to remove the middle leg, and to remove the middle passage. For if we remain committed and focused on that, then I believe that we shall be that humanizing force that the world needs now more than ever in these great times of peril in which we live. For we will know what we must do to bring justice to the fight against climate. And we will know what we must do to bring reparations to those people who have lost. And we will know what we must do to ensure that those in this continent and in the Americas should not be deprived of vaccines at a time when other countries literally are throwing them away as if they didn't matter. For we shall know when the next pandemic comes how to fight it and who to protect. Mr. President and the people of Ghana, I leave you today confident that you shall continue to light a beacon for those of us not only in the continent of Africa, but across the world. And we shall join you in holding that beacon, that everlasting fire, if only because it is a moral and just fire. It is a moral and just fight that we wage. But we are equally conscious that those who labor in a great cause, my brothers and sisters, shall never fail. Long live the Republic of Ghana, long live the Republic of Barbados, long live the Caribbean civilization, long live the civilization of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our special guest of honor, Honorable Mia Amo Motley. We shall now have a drum appellation by students from Obrachere Senior High School, Ewutu Bojuasi Senior High School, to make way for the anniversary speech by Mr. President.
The drum. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the drum appellation is performed by Master Ebenezer Nkansa and assisted by Master Ernest Baidu, all from Ewutu Bojuasi Community Senior High School in the Ewutu Senior West District. The reciters are Portia Manko from Ewutu Bojuasi Community SHS and Faustina Mensah from Obrachere Senior High School. They were taken through rehearsals by Mr. Richard Kweku Mensah of Okwampa CR Basic School in Bojuasi and Mrs. Florence Kweku Mensah of Bojuasi Community SHS.
Live history, live, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Commander
Eminent clergy, First Lady, Vice President and Second Lady, Chief Justice, Prime Minister of the Government of the Republic of Barbados, and members of the Beijing delegation, members of the Council of State, the Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, and officials of the Presidency, Central Regional Minister, Ministers and Deputy Ministers of State, Members of Parliament, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, Inspector General of Police, Service Chiefs, Dean and members of the Diplomatic Corps, President and members of the Central Regional House of Chiefs, Omahini of Ogwe Traditional Area and other traditional rulers, residents of Cape Coast, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. Today marks the 65th anniversary of our nation's independence, and it is wholly appropriate that we should gather in this historic city of our country to commemorate this special day, when 65 years ago, at midnight on 6 March 1957, our dynamic leader, our first president, the celebrated Kwame Nkrumah, proclaimed at the old Polo Grounds in Accra the immemorial words, "Ghana, your beloved country, is free, free forever." I must at the outset thank the children from the schools drawn from across the municipality for their excellent march, the cultural troops for their magnificent performance, which has showcased many of the elements of the best elements of Ghanaian culture, and the officers, men and women of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service and the other security services for their splendid display of order, pomp and pageantry. It has been a grand spectacle, and I'm glad that I've been able to bring our distinguished guest of honor, one of the great figures of the Caribbean politics, the Prime Minister of the Government of the Republic of Barbados, Her Excellency Mia Amor Motley, QC, to witness this for herself. Madam, this is your second visit to Ghana in 3 years, and I say once again, a big warm akwaba, our word of welcome to you and to your delegation. Whilst welcoming you, I also congratulate you on your spectacular victory in the recent general elections in your country, where for the second successive time, your party, under your leadership, swept all 30 seats of your country's legislature. Clearly, we in the New Patriotic Party have much to learn from the Barbados Labour Party. But above all, I congratulate you on steering your country from the status of a dominion to that of a republic, which occurred on 30th November 2021, severing all formal connections to the former British colonial power. Barbados today stands proud and united before the world. Relations between Ghana and Barbados date back centuries, founded originally on the tragic platform of the barbaric, inhumane transatlantic slave trade, which at Cape Coast Castle, located not too far from here, as one of its major conduits. Over 400 years later, here we are, this time, sharing a vision of a black world on both sides of the Atlantic, which leverages hard work, enterprise, creativity, and innovation, mutually beneficial trade and investment cooperation, and dignity of black people the world over. Your presence here with us on our special day is eloquent. Despite the machinations of our common enemies, the bonds between us, that is the continent, and those of you in the African Caribbean, are indissoluble and will in this century grow from strength to strength. The time for the black peoples of the world is here. I wish you a pleasant stay amongst us, madam, even if it is brief. Fellow Ghanaians, before the outbreak of COVID-19, we took the Independence Day of Accra, 2020. Success. However, because of the rise last year, held virtually in our history. By the grace of Almighty God, in the effective management of the pandemic, we have a very low active, which has permitted these celebrations to take place in Gwe. It has been a captivating event, and I'm very happy to be here and grateful for the cooperation of the traditional authorities, led by the Omahe of the Ogua traditional area, or Saberima Kwesi Arthur II, who has been our gracious host. Saberima, Yedawo, Eni Gwema Asepa. The administrative capital of Gold Coast. The first Supreme Court was cited. The first people to gain of the first primary school, the Philip Kwaku School, established in the 18th century in 1776. It is the home of the first school, West, established in 1836. Of the second Infansipim School, 40 years later in 1876. Many renowned secondary schools established in Cape Coast. I doubt if there exists in the world a town that has the same concentration of top secondary schools there is in Cape Coast. Indeed, it is not for nothing rightly described as the Athens of Africa. It is a celebration of our nation's independence, and one region that has epitomized both our association rule and the ensuing struggle to liberate ourselves from its yoke. Indeed, the Portuguese, the earliest Europeans to visit us, first arrived in the Gold Coast in the 15th century, setting up shop in Cape Coast. The years that followed witnessed battles for control of Cape Coast, with the Swedes and the British finally taking over the territory. The aftermath of this takeover was the transformation of Cape Coast into the place from where our resources, human and natural, were transported. Through the forts dotted along this coastline, our ancestors were sold in faraway lands, and wealth and prosperity for the from whose enjoyment they were largely excluded. It was thus inevitable that the first momentum making of modern independent Ghana began here in Cape Coast in 1907, when the great Ghanaian patriots J.B. Brown, Joseph Casely Hafer, Mensa Saba, and their colleagues assembled in the Aborigines Rights Protection Society, situated in Cape Coast, and managed, through their advocacy, to mobilize public opinion to resist the takeover of our lands by the greedy hands of in the Crown Lands Protection Bill, thereby helping maintain control of our lands and insulating us from the fate of the sequestration of lands that occurred in southern and eastern Africa, with such unhappy consequences for the reverberate till today. Exactly 50 years after the inauguration of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society, on 4th August 1947, the United Gold Coast Convention of blessed memory, the National Party, to spearhead the battle for freedom soon to assume the nationalist movement. From his decade-long sojourn abroad, and 6 months after the launching of the UGCC, the senseless Christians bore crossroads shootings and killings on 28 February 1948 by the colonial police of Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lamte, who were part of a group of unarmed ex-servicemen marching peacefully to present their grievances to the colonial governor, provoked the wrath of the nation, resulted in countrywide riots, and deepened immeasurably the demand for the independence of our nation. This led to the arrest by the colonial authorities of the UGCC leaders, Joseph Boachi Dankwa, Emmanuel Obechebi Lamte, Edward Akufo-addo, Ebenezer Akwaje, William Ofori-Atta, Kwame Nkrumah, the legendary Big Six, who were held responsible for the riots, and to the institution of the Watson Commission to investigate the circumstances of the riots. The recommendations of the Watson Commission to the British Labour government of Prime Minister Clement Attlee helped construct the path for the attainment of independence. These and other events, including the founding of the Convention People's Party and the declaration of positive action, led to the emergence of Kwame Nkrumah as the leader of the nationalist movement in succession to J.B. Dankwa. He led it with verve, and on 6 March 1957, stood at the Old Polo Grounds to make the historic declaration of Ghanaian freedom, for which the Ghanaian people will forever remain in his debt. I've recounted a short but significant portion of our nation's history and the journey towards independence to reinforce the importance of the theme of this year's celebration, working together, bouncing back together. This theme imposes a duty on all of us to embrace the essence of what it means to be a Ghanaian and to love Ghana. Our forebears worked together with the belief that Ghana, once free and independent, could make her own unique contribution to the growth of world civilization and be able to generate wealth and prosperity for the masses of her people. They put away ethnic, political, and religious affiliations and came together to work for the liberation of the Gold Coast from colonial and imperial domination. Each one of them contributed their quota towards the free, independent Ghana in which we now live. All of us gathered here, and millions out there, inside our borders and outside, share this love for the place we call home. What is that ultimate statement of patriotism? Most people would say, my country, right or wrong. In fact, as the distinguished orator and Senator Carl Schultz elaborated in the 19th century, my country, right or wrong. If right, to be kept right, and if wrong, to be set right. When we make wrong choices, we must act to set things right. When those put in charge of affairs, of running affairs, get it wrong, we must have the courage to say so. That is our patriotic duty and calling. But we must not on any given opportunity run down our nations merely simply because we can, or to achieve a narrow, parochial, and partisan interest. The democratic system of governance which we have chosen to operate acknowledges that we are bound to have differences of opinion on the way forward for our nation. We must, however, recognize that the expression of those diverse views should not undermine the fundamental unity we need to forge to advance the cause of our nation. In the words of our unofficial national anthem, composed by the legendary Ephraim Amo, "Edru me ene wonsoso, si ebeyebi atwaso." Fellow Ghanaians, for the last 2 years, we have seen as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the disruption of the global supply chain and the global financial system, the opening up of a huge funding gap in virtually all countries, the erosion of fiscal space, the widening of the fiscal deficit, and increased public debt levels. Simply put, there are difficulties everywhere in the world. We're seeing increasing global freight rates, rising crude oil prices, which means rising fuel prices, rising costs of items on the market as a result of inflationary pressures, and the depreciation of currencies. And as much as these are happening in all countries around the world, the government of Nana akufo-addo has not thrown up its hands in despair. We're not looking for the easy way out. We're determined to become even more self-reliant and in the process find Ghanaian solutions to Ghanaian problems. As already we have made considerable progress towards this end. Today, Ghana is a net exporter of foodstuffs, thanks to the success of the program for Planting for Food and Jobs. Free senior high school is ensuring money, or the lack of it, is no longer a barrier towards the attainment of a minimum of senior high school education for every Ghanaian child, an important tool for the development of our nation. We are processing more of our cocoa in Ghana than at any other time in our history. The One District, One Factory initiative, which has seen the ongoing construction of 278 factories across the country, 106 completed, is part of the foundation on which we're building a comprehensive industrialization program, inspired by the development of strategic anchor industries, such as the emerging automotive industry and the coordinating exploitation of our bauxite and iron resources. We have opened up this country through the constructions of roads more than any other government has in the history of the Fourth Republic. Our efforts at digitization are improving transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the public sector and helping to accelerate the growth of our economy. Fellow Ghanaians, these and more are what we have used tax revenues for over the last 5 years. In all your communities, villages, towns, constituencies, and regions, you have seen your taxes at work, whether it is the construction of a classroom block, a clinic, a small town water facility, a factory, or a road. And we will continue down this path. I will not renege on my pledge to help create a progressive and prosperous Ghana. I, however, cannot do this alone. I need the backing of each and every one of you if we are to bounce back together and build a Ghana beyond aid. There is one matter of overriding significance which we can no longer ignore. That is the pressing need to increase dramatically our domestic resource mobilization and reduce and eliminate our dependence on foreign savings. Today, there's no question but that the most important thing on most people's minds is the need for accelerated national development to improve living standards and generate jobs for the mass of the people, especially the youth. On that question, we are all agreed. However, not everyone is ready to take the next step to the recognition that accelerated national development can best take place with a considerable increase in revenue mobilization. And very few will then step principally through taxation. In our society, we have unfortunately not yet reached the stage of universal acceptance of public good. Our tax to GDP ratio of 12.2% compares unfavorably with our peers the world over. Less than 10% of the Ghanaian population, i.e. 2.4 million people, carry the direct tax burden of 30.8 million people. The Asian tigers whom we envy and emulate and want to emulate finance their rapid development from their own savings. We need to do the same and alter our fiscal profile. We must move Ghana to a situation beyond aid. That is a Ghana which is no longer dependent on the benevolence or charity of foreign taxpayers and donors for the management of our public finances. It is doable. We want to transform Ghana into a world-class economic hub which will benefit every single Ghanaian. On this day, when we're gathered to celebrate 65 years of freedom and independence, let us continue to pay homage to those who dare to dream of this beautiful, diverse nation made up of different peoples. And let us continue to give praise, as we should, to those who made huge sacrifices to make possible 6 March 1957. Above all, let us guard jealously the peace and stability we are enjoying. There are some restless spirits amongst us who, seeking to exploit the current difficulties confronting the nation, claim to have lost confidence in our democratic system to effect a peaceful constitutional change in the governance of our state. Either the absence of faith in the prospects of a democratic alternative to the current government, or their impatience to wield executive authority are the factors driving their appetite for the shortcut of military intervention. Whatever be the case, they seem ready to jeopardize the hard-won reputation of our country as a beacon of democracy and stability in Africa, and indeed in the world, in order to gratify their personal ambitions, ambitions which show little or no respect for the capacity of the Ghanaian people to change, when necessary, their government peacefully through the ballot box, something they have done on 3 separate occasions in the 29-year life of the Fourth Republic. The great majority of us who are committed to democratic values and democratic institutions will continue to resist the claims of these adventurers and employ all legitimate means in a democracy to maintain our free, open system of governance, which is respectful of human rights, the rule of law, and the principles of democratic accountability. Ghana deserves to put the initial decades of perhaps understandable turbulence and instability in her history firmly behind her, to enable the development of our nation to proceed in conditions of freedom, order, peace, and stability, which have been the happy hallmarks of the Fourth Republic. West Africa is also currently faced with a worsening security situation in the Sahel, with recurring terrorist attacks which are moving gradually southwards in the region towards the coastal states. All our efforts at transforming the Ghanaian economy and putting our nation onto the path of progress and prosperity will be rendered futile if we are unable to secure our borders and give you, the Ghanaian people, the serenity to go about your daily activities in an atmosphere of peace and security. Hence, the necessity of bolstering the capacity of our security services, a goal which has to be achieved. As President of the Republic, I assure you, the government is determined to do everything within its power to guarantee the nation's territorial integrity and ensure the safety of citizens. I urge you, my fellow Ghanaians, also to cooperate with our security services and give them maximum support in the discharge of their important duties. When the citizenry and security services work together, we can be assured of our safety and security, and then we can channel all our energies and resources into building a progressive and prosperous nation, the Ghana of our dreams. I do not underestimate the challenges with which we are confronted, but I am strong in my conviction that we can overcome them. I know we are capable. I believe in the can-do spirit of the Ghanaian, the first people in sub-Saharan Africa to rid ourselves of the shackles of imperialism and colonialism. Ours is a bright future, and I'm confident that the years ahead of Mother Ghana will be great. Let us work together and bounce back together. The battle is the Lord's. In conclusion, let me announce to the good people of Cape Coast that in commemoration of this occasion, government has decided to rehabilitate in full the Philip Kwaku Boys School, the first country to Cape Coast. Ghanaian Independence Anniversary celebration. May God bless us and our kith and kin in the Caribbean and in the Americas. And may God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that was the anniversary speech by Mr. President.
Ray! Ray! Chef! Major, sir! Left front! Yes, sir!
The Forces Sergeant Major of the Ghana Armed Forces, in the person of Senior Chief Warrant Officer Addo Daniel, will now lead the contingent to chant the 3 hearty cheers to the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. May I have your permission to carry on with the yield, Mr. President? Yes, Mr. President. Right, we remove headdress. Remove. $300 for the review officer, the president, and the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Chabai!
That was the yell led by the Forces Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Addo Daniel. He was born on the 12th September 1972, and he attended Nkwanta Senior Secondary School in the Oti region. He was enlisted into the Ghana Army. On 5th January 1996,
to follow, Mr. President. Yes, Mr. President.
the parade commander will now ask permission to march off the colors. May I request that as the colors march past your location, we will rise and all in uniform will pay appropriate compliment.
Mr. President, prayed over, may I have your permission to march up the colors and the parade. Mr. President.
Once again request that as the colors march past your location, all will please rise and all in uniform would pay appropriate compliment. Shall we please remain standing for the national salute? Shall we please be seated? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all too soon we have come to an end of yet another edition of Ghana's 6th Independence Anniversary Parade. We shall remain seated. We shall remain seated as our dignitaries take leave of us.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, shall we remain seated and observe the departure formalities? The first to leave will be the President of the Republic of Ghana, together with the First Lady of the Republic, to be followed by our special guest of honor, the Honorable Mia Amor-Motley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Barbados. We want to say a very big thank you to all the schools who participated in our 65th Independence anniversary.
Special thanks to the Director General of National Sports Authority, Professor Peter Chumesi, who prepared the stadium for the program. Many thanks to our senior high schools for representing in their numbers. The school's contingent were supervised by Mr. Michael Ntoaye, Director PE and Sports, GES Headquarters, Madam Cynthia Wise Atokwe, Programs Officer, PE and Sports, GES Headquarters, Mr. Bertrand Akufo-Addo, Regional PE and Sports, GES Central, Mr. Alex Ekomanko, Deputy Regional PE Coordinator, GES Central.
Osa Berimakwe Sata II, Ogamanhin, President of the Central Regional House of Chiefs, Ogwaman, and all the people of Central Region. Ghana says thank you for hosting this nation on our 65th Independence anniversary.
We are also grateful to Mr. Justice Gershon Sronipa, Ayawaso West Municipal Culture Coordinator, GES Headquarters, Phyllis Amwatin, Accra Metro Culture Coordinator, GES Headquarters Rep, Mr. Seth Day, Deputy National Culture Coordinator, GES Headquarters, Mr. Aaron Adakwa, Unit Head, Cultural Education, GES Headquarters, Mr. Prosper Bessa, the Culture Coordinator for the Central Regional Education Directorate, Reverend Jonathan Bete, Deputy Cultural Coordinator, GES Central Region.
And after the departure of our special guest of honor, the Vice President of our Republic and the Second Lady would also depart. For supporting the parade over the years, we want to say a very big thank you to Nestle Ghana Limited, Ekumfi Fruits and Juices Limited, producers of Eku Juice or Ekumfi Juice, Fan Milk Ghana Limited, Zoom Lion, ADB, Unilever, Coca-Cola Company, DDP, Verna Mineral Water, and all who supported this anniversary. Goyle, Coa FS, Hisense, and many more. Departing now is the President of our Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Together with our special guest of honor, the Honorable Mia Amor-Motley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Barbados. Thank you very much, President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for bringing the 65th Independence anniversary to the people of Ugwa. We also want to say a very big thank you to all the ministers, especially the Central Regional Minister, Mrs. Asan, for hosting us, making this anniversary a success. Next to depart is our special guest of honor, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Barbados. Thank you to all you students for making this program a success. The departure of the Vice President of the Republic, the Chief of Staff at the Office of the President would also depart. Also departing now is Kwesi Enin Yaboa, the Chief Justice of our Republic. Verna Mineral Water, thank you. Ekumfi Juice, thank you. ADB, thank you. DDP, thank you. Zoom Lion, thank you. Cowbell, thank you. Trillium, thank you. Unilever, thank you. Coca-Cola Company, thank you. Goyle, thank you. Coa FS, thank you. Hisense, thank you. Departing now is the Chief of Staff at the Office of the President. And now our service commanders can now depart. The Inspector General of Police, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff. Nananom, we want to say thank you. Ogwamahin, we say thank you. President of the Central Regional House of Chiefs, we also say thank you. To the people of Barbados, thank you for gracing our anniversary. To the people of Ogwaman, thank you. To all you students, from all the second cycle, as well as elementary schools, junior high schools, thank you for making the 65th independence anniversary of our country a beautiful one. To Loud Mix and Signal, thank you for providing us with good sound.